So, time travel, bro. What the fuck do you want to talk about time travel? Do you think it's possible? Do you think... Some people on YouTube have said it's been done already. I forget the guy's name. Something Tilton or Titan or some shit.
It was supposed to be like evidence of, I guess, that one guy that was in that photo. I don't know if you've seen that photo.
Yeah, the one where he's wearing like sunglasses and a cardigan.
Sunglasses, yeah, like a jacket. Fucking has like a cell phone, and everybody else is, I don't even know, man. Is that evidence? You think?
I don't know. Do you think that could ever happen?
I personally do. I personally think that time travel can and will happen. I think it's just a matter of when and who has access to it.
Okay, here's something I was thinking about earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a time traveler came back from the future to our time, right? Mm-hmm. And he was my age. He came back and he shook my hand and then he went back to the future.
Yeah.
And I grew the rest of my life and I died.
Mm-hmm.
Is he dead? Or is he not born? Because his time is not here yet. But he is my age now. So did he live out the rest of his life and die already? Or is there just a void in his travel that lasts... Let's say he was born in the year 2500. Is there just a void in his travel that would last 2525 years? Because that's how old I am.
It's a lapse in time. I think we talked about the dimensions being 3 dimensions. That's what a lot of people think. The height, the width, and the depth. But there's actually 4. That's duration. And so, let's say the dude was 25 whenever he came back, okay? He existed here for maybe, 15 hours or some shit, and then he went back to his time, okay? He doesn't cease to be. I mean, he does, but he does not. It just, where his existence is 4th dimension, jumped from this point up to that point. And that's what time travel really is, you know what I'm saying? He was here for this 15 hours, he ceased to exist, and now he is again. It doesn't mean that he aged or anything, and yes, he still does exist.
But that would suggest that... time is all in the same. It all happens at the same time.
Yes.
Like all time is happening at the same time. Like if you had the capability of doing that, then that would suggest the multiverse theory where there's multiple people, because he would have to be being born in the year 2500.
Mm-hmm. Let's say,
and it would be 2525. He would be a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he would be all ages at all times.
No,
he would have to be.
No.
If you could travel to 2521,
mm-hmm.
then he could possibly see himself at a younger age by 4 years.
Which is the huge paradox, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have to be a completely different place. Like, how would you... Like, okay, if you came back and met your grandma
mm-hmm.
and killed her,
mm-hmm.
would you cease to be?
We don't know. That's the big paradox.
I think that kind of thing would stop time travel from ever happening. I don't think you'd be able to do it. I don't think it'll ever happen, and I think if it does happen, it'll create just the end of everything for us.
I don't. The way I see it is like such, okay? If, let's say we talk about the same guy and he's 25, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If he went back in the past, okay, and he talked to his grandmother, let's say, and he stopped her from having a kid, therefore he down the line stopped existing. He wouldn't exist no more. I think that at the point that that's about to happen, the events of the universe, right, would prevent you from existing, and so you would not be able to interfere in that kind of manner. Does that make sense? Because a lot of people talk about the paradox, for example. Let's say you went back and killed your grandfather before he had you. Now you don't exist, so how could you kill your grandfather? You understand what I'm saying?
But you wouldn't not exist until your grandfather was dead.
You're right.
So how would the event of you not existing prevent you from killing your grandfather who's not dead, so therefore you do exist?
You're right. And
do you guys know what the fuck we're talking about?
That's the whole paradox. The paradox is saying that if this person existed at this point in time, and this person, which is you, the offspring, went back in time to kill this person and knock him off, now you quit existing. I feel, and just me, I don't know, but in my opinion, if you went back to meet your grandfather, the second that you're supposed to kill him, like this is a real thing that's about to happen, I think somehow the universe knows, this is what's going to happen, and you cease to exist before you can kill him. I think that's what's going to happen.
That is such a crazy thing.
I think, for example, if we went back to kill Hitler, of course, that's a bad dude. We could save the millions and millions of people if we would have did that. I feel like if we went back in time to kill Hitler, something would happen to prevent us from killing Hitler.
I think it would change the future. I don't think anything would prevent us from killing Hitler. Maybe that's what happened to him. A lot of people think he killed himself, but maybe we killed him.
I don't know. There was this series on Netflix. It was called, I think, JFK, where Franco, yeah, the guy that did This Is the End.
Oh, James Franco?
Yeah, James Franco. He was like the main character, okay? He went up to this diner, and he found out that in the back room of the diner, whenever he went into that back room, it sent him back in time. Back, I think it was like 2 or 3 years, or maybe even 10 years before.
So when he came out, Hitler was no longer even there?
The assassination of JFK. That was the whole thing.
Oh, JFK.
So then he went through this time period or whatever, and he met this girl. He really liked her and all this good shit, and, you know, they got to know each other. It was kind of like, you know, they were involved in that way. But she ended up dying, and so he ended up going back. You know, he failed, and he kept going back, and he kept going back. And it's the same thing with the movie The Time Machine. Whenever this happens or whatever, you know, you always try and save somebody from the past, and it's like the events unfold the way they were supposed to, just in a different way. You know, this girl dies, for example. Let's say, you know, Fawn dies or whatever the shit, and you go back in time to save her, okay? You might have saved her from getting hit from a car, okay? But then all of a sudden she has a heart attack and dies anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Like, events keep happening.
But how would you apply that to killing somebody instead of saving somebody?
Because I think the events are the same. If this person is supposed to survive, he's gonna survive regardless of what you do.
So even if you chop his head off with a machete,
I think something would prevent you from doing that. That's what I mean to say. Instead of it killing you, you know, let's say you save Fawn from getting hit by a car. Now she has a heart attack. Let's say she was supposed to survive, so she hits by a car and she survives anyway. You go over there and you pull her out of life support or whatever, and her heart starts to beat like by itself. I think there's gonna be a series of events that's gonna prevent that from happening. Again, that's just me. That's my take on it. I don't know.
That's a good theory, but I mean, if time travel was possible in the future, and time happened at the same time, like if the future's happening right now, then there would be time travelers right now walking around us right now.
Again, it's a vector for me. It's a vector.
Explain that. I don't know what that means.
A vector in math is kind of like you have a single point and it has a line from it, okay? Let's say we throw a ball, a baseball. Whenever you throw that baseball, it leaves your hand, and from there you can see a line going out into infinity or however long it's supposed to go. Okay. So, to relate this to time, for example, whenever we are born, we have a vector that goes out forever, however long we're supposed to live, okay? Now that vector of time keeps going for everybody. It's a duration. As long as you exist, you have this duration. That's a vector for me, okay? You're going to exist until you stop existing, until you die. So, I don't know how long that is. Again, we're talking real hypotheticals here. I'm trying to put numbers on this so that people can, kind of understand where it is that I'm coming from. But let's say you live for 10 years, and your line is this long, okay? Now, if you time travel, it doesn't matter where you try time travel, the line's just going to move with you. You understand what I'm saying?
But the beginning would have to stay the same because
the beginning would change.
How would the beginning change if you were born in the same period of time?
That's what I mean to say. You're right in that regard. Your very beginning, where the line starts, will always stay the same. But I'm talking about where you actually time travel. So let's say you're supposed to live for 10 years and you only live for 5, okay? And in 5 years you time travel, so then that part of the line just stops right there and it hops somewhere else. And you can think of it kind of like, an audio program or whatever, where you have the wavelengths, okay? You just cut the audio here, and in a different timeline, it keeps going wherever the hell it is.
So what you're saying is, if a guy came back, shook my hand, went to the future, when I die, if we lived to be the same age, when I die, he would also die in the future?
No, because everybody's vector is different.
Well, what I'm saying, if we were the same age now, and we were going to die on the same day,
if somehow
if he would have stayed here, we would die on the same exact day.
No, I do not. I think his line is extended, but it's no longer than 5, 10, whatever amount of years it's supposed to be. You don't understand me, and you're not following me. And I wish I had a little piece of paper or something to graph it out. But again, if you're supposed to live for 10 years, okay, if this is how long you're supposed to live, and you chop it right here at 5. Again, you only have this amount of time to live. Now, if you go back here, it's still going to be the same amount of time. If you go in the future, it's still going to be the amount of time.
But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm describing. Because what I'm saying
But whenever you die, it doesn't mean that the same amount of time happened for that person. Your line is in a straight vector. Your line's a straight line, okay? If he chops his right here in half and extends it into the future, again, that time for you would die right here. He passed
But
that
you can't have both of those things happen because you just said both of those times were taking place at the same time, just in different...
No.
In different realms.
Time keeps going for you the same way that it will keep going for him, okay? But time is relative to who is actually in that spot, okay? So again, if you live for 10 years, let's say, right? You live for 10 years right here, okay? That's how long you live.
Mm-hmm.
If you live for the same amount of time, okay, but halfway through his life, he just jumps somewhere else. He, again, lives a total of 10 years, but it's way past your time. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
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 I don't think he would die at the same time that you die. That makes no sense.
So basically, he would be my age. He's met me, but he doesn't die. Like for me, he's not gonna die for 300-400 more years.
Right. But he will still live a total of 10 years just like you would have.
Yeah.
Again, time is the same, but it's relative to the person living it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand that. That makes more sense to me. So that's a pretty good explanation for it. I just don't know. I feel like there's things that you could come back and change. There's things that, like, what if you died in the past?
If you died in the past and you couldn't time travel backwards, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're already dead.
What if, I mean, I don't know if I agree with the first part. Like,
right.
Something would change to make it to where you couldn't kill this person.
Again, that's my theory, but okay.
Yeah.
What do you think happens then?
I think you would fucking kill somebody and then cease to exist.
That's a real mindfuck of a situation.
But but I just don't know. I don't know any other way that could possibly be. Like, okay, and do you believe in the multiverse theory? It'd be hard. It'd be hard to for you because those two time periods were different.
But that, in essence, is a multiverse.
Well, no, because the time is still in the same spot in the future that it would be if the person never came here at all.
But you're living in an alternate universe now. If your timeline...
You're not really, though. You're living in the same universe. You're just in the future.
You're living in an alternate universe.
How would you be living in an alternate universe? It's the same world.
Okay.
It's the same everything.
So, it's 2017.
It's a different time.
It's 2017. Let's say you die in 10 years. So, at 2027, you're supposed to die, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, that's a timeline. This is a set amount of time, okay? A timeline. Mm-hmm. If you jump over 2027, you are now existing in a world that's not supposed to be for you. You're not even in that timeline anymore. So a multiverse has to be created, because if not, you wouldn't be there. It would be a parallel universe.
So what you're saying is you would have to create a multiverse to even travel in time at all?
Yes. Even
if the same people were there and it was the same exact world as yours?
Yes. Because now you're existing in a different place, not even a different time. Let's say it's the same exact time. You're existing in a different place than you were normally supposed to be. So there has to be a multiverse. This is my
like thoughts on this. Okay, mm-hmm. I feel like every decision that we make,
yes, I already know where you're going with this.
Another realm of reality.
Yes,
because we could have made the other choice.
Right.
And we have made the other choice.
Right.
And we're going to make the other choice.
Right.
So, I feel like if the planes of existence were exactly the fucking same, mm-hmm. then he wouldn't be in another dimension. He would be in the same dimension. He would just be in the future of this world. I don't think that time travel would apply.
Hold on.
To cross universe travel.
Whenever we say multiverse, how does that actually function for you? What is the structure of what's going on? Like, I need to know this to know what it is exactly that you...
Well, people think that the multiverse is multiple universes. That's what multiverse means.
Right.
So whenever you make a new decision, you're creating a new reality and a new universe.
Right.
To where your life up to this point completely changes.
But it's like a fork in the road at that one decision, and because you could have took two choices,
then your universe splits into two.
You're right. That's exactly what I mean to say. Time travel would then have to be a multiverse. It has to be. Because then you can make the decision not to travel, and there you are. You understand what I'm saying?
It would have to be, but it's still linear. Like the way it is
all time is linear.
Your life goes like this. You make a decision, it splits, but it's still going like this. Like one choice is gonna always lead you straight, and other choices are gonna branch your universe off into different universes. But what I'm saying is, if somebody traveled back in time to the linear part of your life, to the straight part of your life, and that's what I'm talking about this universe would be. So you wouldn't change universes. You would just go back in time on the linear line of your life.
No. And this, to me, at least in my logic or whatever, it's evident because you can exist at the same time. How can that be linear?
That's the hard part. That's the hard part. You would have to be in a multiverse in that case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you went back to see yourself, for example, right? You cannot be in in the same linear universe, because now two timelines create one timeline and they can overlap. No, I just see a multiverse rather. If you were to go back in time again, you would come back to a certain point and it would branch off right then and there. That way two of you could exist simultaneously, even though it branched off.
But so you don't think there's any linear reality where two people of the two of the same people could live?
No.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I wonder if that's how they came up with the multiverse theory, is like the idea of time travel. Because I just don't see any other way to, like, okay, but at the same time, like, what if you, like, what force chooses what timeline you land in? What if you land in a timeline where your grandma never decided to have that baby? Like, what if you went back to a timeline where you didn't almost chop your finger off on a fucking meat slicer at Arby's, and would your scar go away? Like, there's a lot of choices that you'd have to travel to before you ever made a decision.
I feel
for that to be.
If you traveled back in time, think of it like branches on a tree. It just branches off in a bunch of different directions, but still you come down to the trunk. You come down to the root.
You would have to come down to the trunk.
Right. I think if you traveled back in time, it doesn't matter what universe you are in. You know what I'm saying? I think you just literally climb back down the tree up to that point. So you could possibly take a different decision and it would branch off the other way. But that timeline still exists on that other route.
Okay, now does this apply if you go back before your birth?
Yeah.
Like how would a multiverse theory work then? Because now you're talking about other people's decisions.
It
wouldn't matter about what you do.
You're right, and that's why I think that if we were gonna time travel, I think we could only time travel up until the first time machine was invented. If that makes sense.
That would have to be. Like, how the fuck would you get back? Like, what if that wasn't? Like, what if people just went back in time and then they didn't think about that shit
and they just got stranded?
They just got stranded back in time.
Yeah, that would suck.
You know, they found, like, relics and shit from, like, a long fucking time ago. Like, I saw something on YouTube. They found an 8,000-year-old phone, like, cell phone. Like, what if somebody went back in time and just got stranded there and got eaten by a fucking...
shark or some shit, yeah.
Just some stupid shit, like a dinosaur or fucking something. I know that wasn't 8,000 years ago, but...
That's also what kind of makes this kind of interesting, because, again, the paradox. That's the big paradox. If you were to kill yourself or a family member that had you down a lineage, or, you know, your family tree or whatever the shit, what would actually happen to you? If you could kill yourself off and still exist, right? Like, what the fuck? How does that work?
The only way, I mean...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only way that would work is if there was just an infinite number of universes and you could travel freely to them because of the one that you're from, you were born.
I wouldn't say that you could travel freely to them, but you can freely decide your way through them.
Yeah, that's freely traveling through them. I mean, like, you pick a point in time you want to go to, and even if it's before your birth... your own timeline has allowed you to be born, so you'll never disappear. And even if you killed your grandma, it would be in an alternate universe. So when you killed your grandma, nothing would happen to you because your universe, you were born, and you can't take that back. Your grandma survived in your universe. Your grandma gave birth to you in your universe. You could go back in time, kill your grandma, go back to the future, and your grandma still lived a completely full life in a different universe.
I don't know if I completely agree with that, because if you were to kill your grandma, for example, then your mom wouldn't exist unless your mom did. If your mom did, then you're probably going to get born anyway, maybe, possibly.
But what I'm saying is,
I don't think
everything in your own universe would have remained exactly the same. So your mom would have been born, but in another universe, that's where you killed your grandma.
You're right, but that's what I mean to say. If you were to travel back to that universe and kill your mom kill your grandma before your mom even existed, then you're really in some shit, bro. Because I don't see how the hell... I mean, I understand...
Because that's a completely separate universe. In that universe, you would have never been born. But that's not the universe you live in.
In the tree branch example, this is like cutting the tree right above the trunk. The rest of the tree falls over, bro. You understand?
No, this is like going to a different tree.
You're right, but then the same tree...
A different whole tree.
Then you couldn't time travel to a different tree.
You time travel before the tree grew, and you dig the root up. And then that tree would have never grown, but your tree is still fully grown. So how could you... Yeah... Even with the whole multiverse thing, right? The whole multiverse theory, I don't see how you can dig the tree up before it even really grew when you were the apple at the end of the branch. You understand what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
There's an infinite number of trees.
Yes.
You go to a different tree before the tree is grown.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. You rip the roots out of the ground.
I understand completely, but
then you come back to your tree where you're fine.
But my whole deal is, I think that whenever you time travel, again, you go from the tip of the branch of the tree down towards the root. You're never going to move to a different tree.
I think, but that's what you were saying earlier, is the only way you could do it is if it was a multiverse theory. If you went to a different universe.
But it's still on your own damn tree.
No.
Yes.
No, to me, your own tree is your own universe. That's your universe. That's the universe you're from. That's where all the events have happened to make you the apple of the tree. Mm-hmm. If you travel, you're going to a completely different tree that hasn't grown yet because you went back before your birth.
The way I picture it, instead of you being at the middle of the tree, you're now at the bark. That's a different point in time, still within the same universe. You understand what I'm saying?
So you can like cut the bark, but you can't cut the.
If you did cut the tree, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do. That's what the paradox. I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows. I don't know if there's a good theory on this.
I just think the human brain isn't capable of like thinking about shit like.
Could you imagine if you went back in time and you killed like your grandparent? You just like you just don't know what you just fall over brain dead. You're just
Dude, what if it was like a video game? Like you know how like some people die and they just strand out. They just get all fucking stringy and shit.
Yeah.
But then I mean, if it was in the same. Like, if it was in the same timeline, there would be people just stringed out all over the fucking place. Because it would be... Especially if the future and the past happened at the same time, there would be time travelers. And that would also make what I was talking about wrong. Because then you would have people from other universes accidentally traveling to our universe. And then there'd be people strung out everywhere. There'd be time travelers everywhere. What if there were? Like, who's to say there aren't? Like, what if there are people right now... who just they pledge like when they're just like, you know, astronauts. What if they've seen other things out there that they can't talk about? Or like, what if people know things that they can't talk about? What if time travelers are supposed to not say that they're time travelers? They're just supposed to fit in.
That's like the butterfly effect, and I don't know if you know what that is. The butterfly effect says that, you know, if you were to step on a butterfly here somewhere on this part of the world, on the other side of the world, it has very serious consequences. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that butterfly effect again would definitely hold true if you were to go back in time. If you were, you know, I don't know, living in a certain house, and you went back in time, and you went back through your old house to leave yourself a note, for example, hey, don't do this. You left the door unlocked. Now somebody walks in and steals all your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has very serious consequences down the line, even in your own damn universe.
It could or it could not.
I think it will.
It has an ability to. Like, what if the person just stole all the shit from your house and then went home and lived the rest of his life and died? Nothing that ever significant.
You're right, but now you're going through hardship at a time where you might have been prosperous before.
Yeah, but that's
so that drastically changes your outlook on life.
Yeah, but you would. I mean, you're not changing the mind of you because you are you. Like, you don't split into two people. Like we were just talking about. Like, you don't. There won't be you when you're a baby and you when you're grown. You will never see your baby self.
I think you will.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible. I think if that were the case, if we were on the same plane of existence as time travelers, there would be time travelers all over the place. I could be out there looking through the window being like, I remember when I did that shit.
And who's to say there isn't? Who's to say that there isn't you on the other side of that glass looking at you right now?
There might be hundreds of me watching me.
You're right.
That's impossible.
That's not impossible.
What if that's why there were 7 billion people on the planet? Like, there were like 3 billion.
We're running out of resources. No.
3 billion of me and just like 3 billion of everybody else.
But that's what I think about a lot. It is totally possible for 100 of you to be sitting outside of your window right now. It is totally possible. Especially with the multiverse theory.
God, that's such a fucking weird concept, man.
Have you ever seen Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Okay, there was one episode where they went to the fucking the Intergalactic Council, and there was like thousands of them. It's like, hey, which Rick are you? I'm Rick, 3 from Percy Con, whatever the shit. You know what I'm saying? What about you? Oh, I'm Morty from such and such. I'm like, whoa, man, that would be trippy as shit.
But see, that's a cartoon.
You're right, but it still has a good basis and foundation.
What I'm saying is, like, how have we not slipped up and found at least one time traveler?
Because I think that the depths we go to cover this kind of shit up are astronomical. For example,
we can't even cover up the Gulf of Tonkin. Like, how the fuck are we gonna? How the fuck are we gonna cover up time travel? How the fuck are we?
We've covered up our own history, dude. Like with the Solmarians, for example.
That's because we weren't around to see it, but like time travelers were definitely around, and especially in an age of fucking video cameras and like cell phones and shit. Like, how the fuck have we not seen ourselves on
I think there's devices in the future that kind of counteract that kind of shit.
Like invisibility cloaks.
I guess. I think more of like, some conspiracy theories think that, there's aliens around us all the damn time. And they have, like technology that makes them vibrate at a very high frequency.
So they're almost invisible.
So they are invisible. They can't even be touched because they're vibrating so fast. You understand what I'm saying?
But would you be alive at that point?
I would imagine.
How?
I don't know. This is technology.
See, okay. Joe Rogan had something called a fart theory. Have you heard of the fart theory?
No, I have not. It sounds interesting, though. Go ahead.
Right, okay. If you didn't have a nose and I farted, you would have no idea.
I think you would, because what if you heard it?
Well, I'm saying if I just SBD'd and it was fucking smelly, dude, and
Oh,
you had no nose, you would have no idea. There would be fart everywhere around you, but it's completely invisible. There are definitely, I think, maybe things out there that our senses are just not developed to pick up.
You're right.
Maybe things that are all around us all the time. Maybe there's something standing right fucking here,
There's
just watching us do this. Like,
this is why I think it's crazy, but animals, I think, do have that sense. I think this is what a lot of people call the sixth sense.
Why would they have it and we don't?
Okay, I don't fucking know, but here's what I'm trying to say. Whenever there's like a fucking major catastrophe that's going to happen, a natural phenomenon like a tsunami or an earthquake, animals dip the fuck out way before it happens every time.
Some animals.
Worldwide. No, all of them.
Not all of them.
All of them.
Horses.
Unless you chain the motherfuckers there or they're corralled into place, they will hightail it.
But that's something that they gotta know. I mean,
But how do they know? They have a sense.
They do have a sense.
It's been proven that we don't know how the fuck that works. But again, might be a dimensional thing that they understand that we don't. Again, they say that babies, for example,
I think they're more in touch with nature because they're outside. Maybe there's like a different feeling in the air before, and they've just adapted to be able to.
You might be right. You might be right. But again, whenever we're born and we're babies, we're much more attuned to the paranormal, bro, than you would imagine. There's a lot of
crazy if we could remember that shit.
We do remember that shit on a subconscious level, though, not on a conscious level. You don't understand. Whenever you're born and you're a baby and you're fucking,
you have no ego.
You're right, but your mom or dad walks out on you. You think, oh, he's just a baby, he'll never remember. No, you have serious psychological issues now because you do remember and you don't know that you remembered.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe.
I totally believe in that.
Maybe your dad leaving you would affect you later on because you realize that your dad left you. I don't think babies are even meant to like ingest that input at that age.
But the sad thing is they do.
You grow up to learn what that means to you. I don't think you know automatically when you're a baby.
No, you don't, but you record it in your mind. It's something that happened that you didn't even know that happened.
But I think some things get dispensed from your memory. Like some things just go.
I do not.
You think everything that's ever happened to you?
Everything that has ever happened to you you are completely aware of in your subconsciousness. This is why a lot of people say that your subconsciousness is so powerful. This is why subliminal messaging works.
Yeah.
Things that you didn't even notice were there affect your thinking anyway.
But I don't think they affect your thinking forever. I think they affect your thinking for a period of time. I don't think you keep that information forever.
When it's trauma, I
when it's
really
trauma,
do.
Yeah. But I don't think your dad leaving you would be that traumatic when you're an infant.
I think it is.
I think later on in life it would be traumatic because then you realize, like, what the fuck, dude, he left. Like, what the fuck?
I think it's highly traumatic because it's based on your survival, okay? If you were back, in the caveman, whenever we did this shit, if your mom or your dad walked out on you, it was a huge deal. And this is why I think, even in the last video that we did, I don't think we'll ever get above our basic human emotion. I don't think we'll ever evolve past that because it's just who we are. As babies, for example, we, again, don't think that kids remember this shit. They do.
But I also think it's how people react to situations around you when you're a baby. Maybe
you're right,
you pick up emotional stress from, like, your mom freaking the fuck out when your dad leaves. Like, she's panicking, she's crying, she's screaming and shit. Like,
she could be completely fine with it, and I still think you could be traumatized.
I don't think as a baby you would. I just don't think that.
As a baby, no, because you don't have the means and tools to, but you record this in your mind as you go. Now you develop differently than you would have if you would have had a father figure in your life.
But I don't think you would record data like that when you're that young. I just think there's no reason for you to acknowledge it. I just don't.
Totally do. But I think it has a good fundamental basis on the outcome of your personality, man. I just do. And it might not even be drastic, like a drastic problem, but let's say your dad walks out on you and now you're more risk adverse. You're like, oh, I'd rather deal with shit than lose somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Now you're dealing with situations and people that, again, are not ideal for you because you have had that trauma in your life. That's just the way I feel about it.
I don't know. I feel like your brain starts functioning at a certain age when it develops to a certain, like, it has to develop enough for input to be saved into your head. I think when you're an infant baby and you get pulled right when you get pulled out the womb, I just don't think there's any fucking input. I just don't think there's anything going on in your brain. Like until you open your eyes and start fucking moving your fingers and grabbing things, and like then you're soaking up information. Do you remember? Can you think about your first memory? Do you remember your very first fucking memory?
Yes.
Before that, you were no one. You were nobody.
I was somebody.
You were nobody.
I was somebody.
You were not a conscious mind. Your brain was not
developed enough. I was a conscious
enough.
mind. Just because.
What's your first memory, Edwin?
I remember being in a crib, bro. And
holy fuck, dude! You remember your being a baby?
Dude, That's fucking crazy,
bro. You were in a crib?
Yes,
dude, I was like 4.
No, man, I have a pretty sharp memory, bro. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I remember things that a lot of people forget. But I remember being in a crib, and I remember this little, it's kind of like one of those, I don't even know what to call them, but I guess a carousel, little toys that they have to spin around all by itself.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a fucking little giraffe, a little fucking elephant, and I think it was a horse. It might have been a donkey or whatever. But I remember the little chime that came off that. That is like one of my first fucking memories, bro.
But do you remember seeing anything weird?
What do you mean weird?
You were a baby. Do you remember seeing, like you said, babies are more attuned to like the paranormal,
right?
Do you remember seeing anything weird or hearing any voices?
No. And again, that wasn't my experience, but there was a couple things that I saw that fucking freaked me the fuck out whenever I was younger. Yes.
Like, younger like a baby, or younger like a kid?
Younger like a kid.
Yeah. I feel like grown adults see things that freak them the fuck out too.
You're right, but I don't know.
Is that a person that, like, where does that come from? Is that like a trait that some people have and some don't? Like, what if their mind is open to...
I don't understand that question. I don't understand the nature of it.
All right, the nature of the question basically is, do some people have the ability to see paranormal things? Like me, I've never seen a ghost, but I can talk to 12 people who did. Who have. Is that them believing it into reality, or is that...
It could be. But in my experience, dude, I've seen some shit that I really can't explain that freaked me the fuck out, bro.
Give me one, bro.
Ghost story time. I can give you fucking...
Give me one, and I'll give you one.
Okay, I remember when I was really young. Okay. Matter of fact, it happened over here. Whenever I was really young and we first...
Happened over here?
No, not right here, but you know what I'm saying. Over here in Florida.
Yeah.
Right here in this city.
Okay. Oh, shit. You're like pointing in a direction.
Yeah, you're like over there, but... No, but I remember when we were 5 or whatever the shit, we moved out of Puerto Rico or whatever the fuck, and we came to live here in Panama City. We had family. Actually, we went to Philadelphia and ended up back down here, okay? That's where we ended up. And we lived in Macedonia, bro, those projects. Mm-hmm. They were a lot fucking nicer back then. But regardless, there was some shit that happened there that I really can't fucking explain. A lot. I remember fucking one time really late at night, fucking there was somebody who was beating the fuck on our door. And it was loud enough to where I was freaking out. My mom didn't hear shit. Nobody ever heard shit. My brothers didn't hear shit. I remember the door
everybody was awake?
Everybody. It was like the middle of the day. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon after school or some shit, and somebody was just beating the fuck out of the door.
What if is it possible that somebody ding-dong ditched the shit out of you and nobody else heard it?
Dude, it wasn't ding-dong ditching. It was like you were trying to knock my door down with a sledgehammer. Like, it was that loud. And nothing. And I remember fucking walking outside. I was like, you don't hear this shit? Opening the door, there was no scratch, no nothing. I'm like, dude, I am freaking the fuck out. There was another time, again, just extend it a little bit. I remember being on my bed, bro. And it was, a bed that I shared with my brother, sure. But, I was just there because it was, the middle of the afternoon. There was nobody else there. You know what I'm saying? They were all outside playing or whatever the fuck. And I remember the sheets on the bed. You know how you have it nice and tight, it's taut and everything's smooth. And I remember that I was playing around and I was thinking some really creepy shit, bro. I mean, I was like, fucking freaking myself out a little bit, I guess.
You were thinking about murdering people, weren't you?
No, I was just thinking about freaky shit at the time, But in any case, I stood up on the bed like this, I sat up in the bed and it freaked me the fuck out, dude. I swear to God, I still get fucking goosebumps and some shit.
What were you thinking about?
I don't even remember. It wasn't even important.
You remember.
I remember just
you don't want to say it.
Freaked out. I'm telling you the truth, man. Anyways, the bed was all nice and tight or whatever the fuck, the sheets or whatever the shit was taut. You know what I'm saying? There was no real wrinkles or anything. And I remember I was like, you know, it'd be really fucked up if something came for me right now. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, creeping myself out like that. And I remember that I was sitting right here at the edge, you know, because it was like in a corner. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting in the corner, and the bed was pretty big compared to me, you know what I'm saying? And I remember 2 little footprints showing up on the bed. And I'm like, the fuck is that? And I'm like, no. So then I pull the blanket, you know what I'm saying, to kind of try and get it tightened out. And it didn't straighten out. The rest of, you know, the sheet around it and everything was moving. You know, it even wrinkled and some shit.
So it was like something was standing on the bed.
Yes.
That's fucking
Hey,
crazy.
it's not over yet. In any case, I remember fucking freaking out. I was like, what the fuck is that? It took a step forward towards me. And I was like, no, fuck, you know, what the fuck is going on? And I remember standing up in the corner. I was like, yo, this is some serious shit right now. And I remember I was like, Mom, took 2 steps forward. I'm like, what the fuck? And I remember freaking the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? I like put my hands on the thing and it just ran towards me and then boom, it disappeared, bro, as somebody walked into the room.
And that's something that really happened to you. Like, you're not making
it really fucking happened to me, bro.
How do you not talk about that all the time? Like, how did
Because, okay. Again,
people who know it's real? Like, how the
dude,
fuck
look
do
at
they
this shit. I'm telling you, bro. I got goosebumps, man.
He got goose pimples. He got chicken pimples, people. He got chicken pimples.
This is the law of attraction, bro. The more...
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yes.
That's a big topic, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, the more you think about this shit, the more you do this, the more you fear it, the more energy you feed into this thing to actually happen. Whenever people shut off the fucking lights and take off running down a hallway because they're afraid of some shit, one day something really might get you.
But it can't be like manufactured fear. It has to be actual fucking heart racing fear.
It doesn't have to be heart racing fear. It has to be a constant fear. When you were like a beacon, okay? You were like a radio antenna.
But it has to be, what I'm saying is it has to be real fear. It can't be just like, I'm going to turn the light off and pretend like I'm scared.
Oh, no, you can't pretend, no.
You have to be actually fucking scared.
Yes, okay, yeah. These are emotions that are broadcast from you. Kind of like an antenna. Again, you constantly transmit your ideas, bro. Every kind of idea and emotion that you have, constantly just broadcasting, bro. The energy that you broadcast is picked up by the fucking universe. I don't care if you believe this or not. It is fucking true.
Yeah. A lot of people believe in that, man.
Yeah, but some people don't. In any case, if you fucking believe in something hard enough, it is going to happen.
Dude, we're gonna get back to this subject, but go on with the ghost stories, bro. Like, because I really want to talk about in full detail.
What else you want to hear, man? What other kind of shit?
Because
that happened to me one time, okay? Yeah. And that, dude, again, you saw, man, that shit freaks me the fuck out.
That's crazy, dude.
It really did happen.
But I want to talk about the law of attraction and more, like a longer period of time. So that's why I want to know about the ghost stories, bro. Tell me about the fucking ghost stories, and then we'll get on to that subject.
There was another one where fucking my mom was the one that saw this one. That was really her manifestation, I feel, but she fucking fell asleep, okay? And, whenever we lived in this apartment in the fucking projects, it was F102, by the way. I remember to this day. It ended up burning down a little while after we moved out. But that was, you walk in through the front door, and there was a living room on the fucking right, and it was a kitchen on the left, okay? And there was a real long hallway. Halfway through the hallway, on the left, there was a bathroom. On the right, there was a closet, real big. And then right after that, there was a storage kind of like room or whatever the shit. Mm-hmm. Well, one night, fucking my mom falls asleep, and fucking somebody opened the front door, and I heard it. I heard somebody open the front door. And I was like, no, that's some bullshit. I heard fucking loud-ass boots walking down towards my mom's room and opened the door. My mom fucking told me a strange-ass story about that shit that I'm not really going to get into and on her front. But I remember that she said this shit, and I remember getting up to go take a piss, and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. But I heard it. I heard boots coming right past me, bro, as if something were there, and nothing was there, and I freaked the fuck out.
You know what's crazy? Like, your ghost stories, none of them are as crazy as the one you just told me about, the bed. Like, you actually saw shit in that.
I've seen some shit.
And you felt the presence. Like, something was fucking right next to you.
Something was most definitely there, yes.
It was on you. Dude, it was like next to you.
It was in front of me, yes.
Yeah. Well, you were in the bed at first, right?
I was always on the bed. I didn't get out of the bed until fucking somebody opened the door, bro, because I was freaking out. Again, sitting in the bed, footprints show up, move towards me as somebody's coming towards me, starts running at me, and right before it gets to me, somebody opens the door. I was like,
poof.
Yeah, it just disappeared. And not only that, but the footprints disappeared. I didn't move, and they just disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't think that's like a kid mind picking up some shit that didn't really happen?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
Again.
I don't fucking know, bro.
Dude, he is telling the truth. There's
Dude.
What the fuck? Either you're cold as shit.
No, and you seen me outside, man. Now, look, man, gone. I'm just saying, dude.
Dude,
no,
that's some crazy
something
shit.
was fucking there. Without a doubt in my mind, bro. Without a doubt.
That's fucking nuts.
Dude, man. Fuck. But man,
shit.
I have so many times of that kind of shit happening. I just don't.
Was it always like footsteps, or was it?
Sometimes it was voices. Sometimes
you've heard voices.
Yes.
What did the voices tell you?
You know what? I'm not getting into it, man. This is a whole different topic.
Come on, bro.
For a whole different thing. We were talking about the law of attraction. I thought, man.
We will.
And the whole reason I don't like to fucking talk about this shit so much is because, dude, if you fucking put enough energy in this shit, it's gonna happen again. No shit. And next time, I don't know what's gonna happen. There are forces in the fucking world that we fucking don't comprehend. That does not mean that they don't exist. They fucking exist, whether you believe it or not.
It's almost like your emotions are a creator. It's a
Your emotions
force.
are an intuition. Your emotions are intuition, and your logic is your roadmap, okay? It's kind of like a road and a roadmap. They go hand in hand. If you don't have logic and you have intuition, you're just a fucking idiot, okay? You're going to get lucky some of the time, and bad things are going to happen to you. However, if you're highly logical and always using your logic, okay, things are going to happen in a predictable manner. And whenever they don't, and you feel off about it, that's true intuition. You got to be careful.
And some people can harness the law of attraction and use it for good, use it for wealth.
That's what you should be doing.
But it's fucking difficult.
You ain't kidding.
Pretending like you're rich.
That was another thing about the law of attraction.
That's really difficult to do.
There was one time where, when I was younger especially, I was really heavily into video games, okay? And we rented one out, okay? And renting, was never the thing to do.
When you were younger.
I'm talking about like 12.
Yeah.
That was like fucking a long time ago for me, okay?
But you play a shitload of video games now.
No, now I actually don't play as much at all. As a matter of fact, the other night that I played...
That's just because you have more time when you're a kid.
Maybe.
You gotta work now. School and all that shit.
But no. Here recently, again, I've decided not to play as much. To me, it's a waste of time now, but...
we got productive shit we could be doing.
Right, but the other day that I think I came over and we played, Ark, I think it was. Dude, that's the longest time in probably like 6 months that I've played any kind of video game, bro.
That was a badass play session, dude.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted you to get the fucking game. Not being a pussy.
But the law of attraction. I remember when I was younger, whatever the shit, we rented this game out and I really fucking liked it, okay? And I remember fucking wanting this game so much, bro. I wanted this motherfucking game. We had to return it on one of the best times in the fucking game. I'm like, I'm really getting into this shit or whatever the fuck.
I had to return it?
Yeah, because it's rental. You know what I'm saying? And I remember wanting this thing, dude. I remember that feeling. I just fucking wanted this thing, dude. And I remember it was like a yearning, bro. It was like with every breath, bro. I was like, I want this fucking game.
You were in love with the game.
Right. I remember fucking having, this little like video game magazine that they send out sometimes, right? And fucking, I would do everything I can. I'm trying to convince my mom to buy this thing. I would fucking turn to the page on the fucking magazine and leave it out. That way she could see it. I'm like, dude, just anything, help me. I just want this game. I want it so bad. And it's really fucking ridiculous whenever people bring up the law of attraction, because one time we went to Seaside Heights, bro. It's over there by Atlantic City in New Jersey. And there was this roulette table there, bro. And it was like $1 to play. And they had this counter with all the numbers on it or whatever the fuck, and they would spin this tire, this wheel, whatever the fuck it was with all the numbers on it. And I remember fucking walking up there and I seen that game that I wanted as a prize, bro. And I was like, Mom, fucking give me $1. Give me a fucking $1. And she was like, you know what? Fuck it. If you shut up, I'll give you $1. So she gives me $1. And I remember walking up to the counter just fucking baffled, bro. Just fucking overwhelmed with all the numbers. And I just took that fucking quarter, because they turned it out into a token or whatever. I put that token, I slid it out, and I just left it right there. She spun the fucking wheel, dude, and bam, I won.
You won the game?
I won that game. I have that fucking game to this day.
You were so fucking happy about getting that game, dog.
Yo.
But do you think wanting something creates the law of attraction? I don't think it is.
To me, dude,
because people want things all the time and they don't get what they want. You know what I'm saying?
You don't understand how much I wanted that thing, dude.
But I want to win the lottery just as bad.
But you don't want it. Dude, yes. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Once again, I feel like that was, to me, the law of attraction at work, okay?
Yeah.
I had that personal experience myself, and I can personally fucking say I don't think I have ever wanted anything as much as I wanted that at that point in time, okay?
That's crazy.
I know it's crazy. I know it sounds retarded. I know it sounds stupid. I know it probably even sounds bad. It's like, wow, you fucking wanted a video game that bad? No, motherfucker, you just don't understand. Like, I wanted this thing. It's like I was breathing this thing. Like,
see, don't you wish you could find that emotion again for other things?
no, I don't.
Why?
Because I don't like the amount of power that thing had over me. Okay, and let me explain
I'm
this
just
shit.
saying, like-
let me explain.
Okay.
If you're a fucking person that's looking for a relationship, for example, and you want something that bad, dude, it is going to be a miserable existence for you, especially when that person lets you down. You don't understand how much I wanted this fucking, and I cannot stress and emphasize that enough, how much I wanted this
Did the
thing.
game fulfill you as much as you wanted it?
Hell no. But that was besides the point. The point was that I fucking, dude, I want to win the lottery too. But I can tell you 100%, I don't want it as bad as I wanted that then. Whenever I say want, it is a want. It's almost a fucking need, bro. It is a borderline, you are this item almost, bro.
It's like you're hungry as shit and you see like a delicious fucking steak.
Times that by 10. Times that by like 100.
I don't even know how that would
I
feel.
know.
I've never
But I
wanted-
do. I do. That's the whole point.
But that's so crazy, man.
But, okay, in any case, the law of attraction, no. I think it's a combination of things. I really do.
Explain your take on it. And try not to get super close to this because it's making the voice like...
Muffled, you're right. Okay. The law of attraction really is very simple and very difficult at the same time, okay? You are an antenna and you are broadcasting out to the universe the energies that you fucking feel, okay? With more basic and fucking negative emotions being at the bottom of the pyramid and the more higher and, positive emotions being on the higher side. The deal is that you have to match what it is that you want.
Okay.
If you want $1 million, for example, right? It's not just enough to want the $1 million. It's not just enough to think about the $1 million. It's not enough. You have to match that energy.
So small things are easier to obtain with the law of attraction?
No. It's all the same. With the law of attraction, it doesn't matter if you want $1 million or if you want $2. It doesn't matter. That's hard.
But
It's
you're
a
saying you
difficult
have
concept
to
to explain.
You're saying you have to match the energy.
Yes.
Matching the energy of winning $1 million is a lot harder than matching the energy of winning $2 on a scratch off.
No,
ticket.
winning is winning, and that's what you don't understand. That's what makes it difficult. You're not trying to match the energy of $1 million. You're trying to match the energy of getting the $1 million.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
not the product though that you're trying to match. You're trying to match
The emotion
transition,
you would feel.
not the emotion. Not again. It's not the emotion necessarily. It's the in between. Okay, if you wanted to fucking fall in love and have a relationship with the perfect person for you, okay, there's gonna be that person. That's the prize, I guess. That's the outcome. But you're not trying to match that vibrational frequency of that person. You're trying to match the vibrational frequency of how to get there, how to navigate that. That would be the love aspect of it more than how you would feel to be with that person, if that makes sense. No?
No, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay,
At
I didn't
all.
think it would. It's hard to explain,
But
but
see, as somebody who feels like they've made it work before, you would have a way better understanding of this than me because it's never been successful.
Okay,
But
if
I've really been looking into the law of attraction. I like
Yes.
the fucking concept of that.
if you want to fucking get into a relationship, right,
Okay.
you're going to have a different energy than if you wanted to win $1 million, I would hope. The want for you to win $1 million is going to be a lot different than the want that you want to be with a relationship with somebody else, right? Which would be different. Let's say if you wanted to win a fight in your career or something, it would all be different kind of wants. It's a different energy that you have to match.
Yeah. But
The
to me,
emotion, it's important. It's important for the law of attraction.
I understand, but how do you match the emotion? How would it be easier to match the emotion, or how would it be just as easy to match the emotion of winning $1 million to matching the emotion of winning $2 on a scratch-off ticket? How do you match?
Because
how is that the same?
The hard part is just the matching. That's the hard part. The hard part isn't the magnitude of which you're trying to win or lose. It's just the matching. Finding that frequency, finding that vibration and matching it and sustaining it and wanting it and thinking about it and working at it and doing things. That's the hard part.
But if you're
think of it as
if you're working at it, you're going to get it regardless of what you like.
No.
Yeah, if you work hard, then the law of attraction, you don't need it because you're working hard, you're going to obtain your goal eventually.
Yeah, but no.
How is that like how is that like if okay, let's just say I wanted a new guitar and it was $1,000.
Okay.
And I didn't have the $1,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the motivation to work extra.
Mm-hmm.
And even if my want didn't match the feeling of getting the guitar in my hands and actually walking out of the store with a purchased new item that I really wanted, even if the want doesn't match that, if I worked for an amount of time and I just worked, I would get the guitar.
Yes.
That's not the law of attraction.
No.
So what I'm not understanding is how does work tie into that? Like if you're working for something, you're gonna get it. You're
not going to use the law of attraction for things that are easily accessible to you because you're not going to want them that bad because you know you can get them. You understand what I'm saying? The law of attraction is only for those real things that you just don't even think you can get.
Okay, let's say for instance growing this YouTube channel.
Okay.
That could be obtainable with the law of attraction?
Yeah.
So what would I have to do? How
This is multifaceted and let me explain it to you.
Is it a natural thing or can you force it? Because
you can never force anything. Let me make that clear.
Some people use the law of attraction.
You're right, but you're harnessing it. You're not forcing it. There's a difference.
But that's the same thing. If you're if you're harnessing something, you're using it.
Harnessing is literally using something that's already happening. A waterfall, for example, they make electricity out of it. You think you force the water to fall off that waterfall? No, you just capture that power, that energy. That's what I mean by harnessing. It's already happening. You just kind of hold out a windmill or a water wheel or something to harness that energy.
So can you train yourself to create that energy?
You will.
Can you teach yourself if I didn't have an overwhelming want, like an overwhelming want to make this YouTube channel grow, could I create the overwhelming want to make this YouTube channel grow?
It's not the want that you need. It's matching what you want.
Explain that in further detail, sir, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, let's say you wanted to grow this YouTube channel, okay? That's a want that you have, okay? Mm-hmm. The want is important. It's a motivator, okay? It's kind of like what sparks it, is what gets it in motion. Next would be keeping your thoughts positive about what you want. Visualizing this, okay? Like,
visualization, I know.
How would you feel if this happened?
Okay, let me give you an example and tell me if it's correct. Because this is what Jim Carrey said.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard this.
Probably.
Jim Carrey believes in the law of attraction. Yes. So does Steve Harvey, and probably
a lot of about the $1 million that he wrote himself. Yeah.
$10 million.
Yeah.
So he wrote him a check. He wrote himself for people.
And notice what he said. He didn't know how it was going to happen. He didn't even think that it was going to happen, but it happened.
He didn't think that it was going to happen. He didn't know it was going to happen. So how does the law of attraction work for him? Like, how
let me explain in his situation. Okay, if you haven't seen this video, go and check it out. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to look it up. You know, the law of attraction, Jim Carrey. Cool. You know, look that shit up. But in this situation,
kind of explain it for people who don't know what it is too.
No, they could look it up. But in any case. This is a guy that, you know, he was at first starting out his career or whatever the shit, and he didn't know how things were going to happen, but he knew what he wanted. You understand? He knew what he wanted in terms of the outcome, okay? Again, he didn't pigeonhole himself into an idea like, this is how it's going to work. Like, I just need to keep doing this and this and this, and it's going to work. He never did that.
But that's working. That's what you said.
But you will only work for things you know you can get, and so the law of attraction isn't important to you because you know you can get it regardless. That's the whole point. He did not know how it was going to happen. He didn't care how it was going to happen. He just acted as if it was going to happen, and it happened.
But he had to have known because he was still auditioning for parts. He was still...
That's the work that I mean. You're presenting yourself with the opportunities to have luck happen to you, okay? That's the work that I mean to accomplish. Again, even in my example, I know I wanted this game, for example, and I didn't know how it was going to happen. Again, the second that roulette wheel came up and I saw that it was a prize, it's an opportunity for it to happen. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So you just seize opportunities, basically.
Right. You
What you're saying is
you expose yourself to the most opportunity you can.
Yeah, if you visualize something enough, and you have enough belief that it's going to happen, and you want it to happen so bad that the universe will present opportunities to obtain the thing that you want.
Yes.
And you just have to notice the opportunities, and you have to take advantage of the opportunities.
You don't even have to notice them.
So it'll bring you luck, basically. It brings you fucking extreme luck.
I wouldn't say it's luck.
Towards your goal.
The law of attraction, right?
It was extremely lucky that you came across a fucking craps machine that had your game, the one you wanted, as a prize. That was lucky.
It was meant to be. It was not luck. And that's what I mean to say. Jim Carrey, once again, he wrote himself a check for $10 million and he put it in his wallet. And what did he say? It was deteriorating. It was almost gone. You couldn't even barely read it. But by the time that he made out the check to himself, which is like a year or two later or some shit, by the time
it's like 5 years.
Right, by the time he could cash that check, that money actually came to him.
Yeah.
Whoa. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point. You want this to happen, you think about it, you visualize as if you already had it, you feel those emotions, right? That's what drives you to this thing. That's what attracts you. That's what tries to match you on that energy that you need to have. If you have $1 million, you're going to feel a certain way. You want to match that frequency, okay? You want to match that level of energy. So as soon as that happens, then you have to start working at it. It's not like you're just going to lay on your ass and get handed $10 million. That just doesn't happen. I mean, it could, but it won't.
So basically, he
presents himself to the most opportunities to have this happen to him, and the universe takes care of the rest. You will meet the right people at the right time. Yeah. You will find the way to make this happen. It lines everything up for you.
But what happens is you have to be open to it. You have to be a yes man, basically. Like when an opportunity presents itself, you have to be like, I'm doing that. I'm going for this. Like you meet a certain person. Like say I wanted to grow this YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. 2 months from now, like I really want it. I want it and I want it. And 2 months from now, like I meet somebody who's like going to school. Like I meet somebody at college who's going to school for like editing. Mm-hmm. And like I start befriending him, but I have no idea he's going to school for editing. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, and somehow the conversation comes up, and then it's just like, man, you should come over and like take opportunity. And like he's like, man, I'm making a podcast. I'm like, so am I. Like you should come over and help me out with the editing. And then that opportunity has presented itself. I've taken advantage of the opportunity the universe has presented me, and then that's another step. And then there's just continuous steps to climb until you obtain your goal. But you have to take advantage. So I understand what you're saying. That's a pretty neat concept to think about, man.
The whole thing is to keep yourself open. Don't think that, this is what's gonna. It could be, for example, that, you go down to the store, get punched in the fucking face, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get knocked the fuck out, and all of a sudden everybody's now hyping you up in the news and some shit, and that's how you grow your YouTube channel.
But how?
It could be.
How do you distinguish?
You don't. You don't until you do. That's the whole point.
But how do you, like, what I'm saying is, if you miss the opportunity to get punched in the face, like, if you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to fight this guy, he's being a douchebag, but fuck it, I'm just going to go home. That was a mistake.
Maybe.
To not get in a fight.
Might not be. It might be that, again, things are going to line up for you. You're going to know. You're just going to have a gut feeling. It's not even going to make any sense to you sometimes. But again, the whole point about being punched in the face is that you don't know how it's going to happen. You shouldn't worry about how it's going to happen. You should just keep putting that energy in there. And you're constantly broadcasting, again, this energy, this I want it, I'm ready for it, that kind of deal.
And you got to have belief that it's going to happen.
You don't have to have belief.
No.
You don't have to know how it's going to happen. You don't even have to know it. You just, you got to know, that you're going to get there somehow.
Yeah, you have to have extreme belief.
That kind of belief,
happen.
Yes.
And sometimes people even say, like, you have to live as though it has already happened.
Yes, that's important. That's the visualization.
But that sucks if you're visualizing winning $1 million and you're going out trying to buy new cars and shit with your fucking $5,000 in the bank or whatever, $6,000.
No, don't be stupid now.
Yeah, but
what I mean to say, if you're gonna visualize, let's say winning $1 million, it could be that you come across $1 million but not even winning it. You could literally land a job that's gonna give you that money. You understand what I'm saying?
$1 million fucking dollars.
Okay, let's say that somebody picks you up on the street and you're like, you're gonna be the new hot shit, and all of a sudden you're an actor. You get $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It happens to people. Let's say that's not even it. Let's say you want to scratch off.
But I feel like there's something else to it Because if that were the case, everybody would be
There really isn't.
being rich.
This is how stupid it is. There really isn't. There really is not.
But some people can harness it.
Yes.
And some people want something forever and never get it.
Because they don't put the... Again,
They don't put the thought into it. Like, they don't think about it enough. You got to be obsessed with something, right? You got to be completely
borderline.
Obsessed. Yeah, you got to be obsessed. You got to be thinking about it, visualizing it all the time.
No, here's the other thing. You could want something and believe you're not deserving of it and never get it. You understand what I'm saying? You could believe...
You got to think you deserve it and you're
and not even deserve it. You're gonna get there somehow.
Yeah,
again, if you wanted to win $1 million, okay, you cannot have the belief in your mind like this ain't gonna happen. This just isn't gonna happen. You know, realistically, come on now. Like, you know, I'm going to have to work my ass off in order to do this. You're going to have to work your ass off, but you shouldn't have those negative emotions because that's literally, you're broadcasting, I want, and that's a negative emotion in the universe.
Want?
Want is a negative emotion in the universe.
But shit, you wanted that game.
Yes.
But you got the game.
But I didn't know how I was going to get it. I just knew I wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like
it wasn't
the whole
like
point of want is that it's indicating that you don't have. It's scarcity. It's if I want something, if I want another person in my life, it's saying I don't have another person.
Yeah.
And so if you want it in that way, you're not going to have it because you keep broadcasting, I'm going without, I'm going without, I'm going without. You don't want that kind of want. You want the kind of want like, I'm going to get this, I just don't know how. That's a different kind of want. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand.
But it's the constant...
It's an inspiring one.
In a way. It's the constant thinking. It's the constant working at it. It's the constant being open to any kind of possibility to get what you want. It's all this constantly. Constantly, bro. Jim Carrey had to do this shit for 5 years, bro. Straight to get $10 million.
And he forgot he had even written the check.
Exactly. He didn't even know that's what he... You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's where the hole comes from. Because it's like, you forgot you even wrote the check. Like, how are you visualizing it? How are you seeing it all the time? Like, how are you...
He did. You can visualize these things. And
when he wrote it.
You can visualize these things. You can work towards them. They can be a goal. And you can not remember what you did. But it's just a factor of all this stuff, man. That's why it's so difficult. It's hard to stay positive about something that you don't have for a long time. It is. It's hard to be in a shitty situation and see the best of it all the time. That's why this shit doesn't happen. If it was easy, everybody would have it.
Yeah.
And again, it's not going to work all the time. Sometimes it's not going to work right away. Sometimes it'll work years down the line. But if you stay with it, it's going to happen.
You got to walk and speak like it's already happened.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
You got to picture and visualize yourself.
You got to walk around smiling like, I've already got this $1 million.
You got to feel as if you already had it, and it'll happen.
Yeah. Or it'll present opportunities to make it happen.
It'll happen. See, that's the kind of mentality. It'll happen.
Yeah.
The opportunity will come up somehow, some way. You don't know. It'll be crazy and some shit, but shit will line up perfectly for you.
Okay, so what... Are you using this technique?
No.
Why?
Because...
Dude, why, man? Like, for real.
Okay, look, man.
If honestly, you're a believer in it, you're an advocate.
You're right. I just don't, man. I don't know, man. It's just sometimes I just have situations in life, man, where it's just you got to work some shit out. Sometimes you just want rest, and to be always about this kind of thing is difficult, man.
I forgot you're an older man.
Yeah, I know, right?
You need rest,
don't you?
No, fuck no, dude.
I'm chronically undersleeping, bro. All the time. A good night's sleep for me is 4 hours, bro.
Yeah, it's about the same for me.
Bro, that's that's a phenomenal night for me, bro.
Yeah, 4 hours isn't a phenomenal day for me, but I sleep during the fucking day. It's pretty hard to sleep when the sun's up.
Yeah.
It's not natural. It's unnatural.
Right. Your circadian rhythms and all melatonin, yeah.
So while I'm at work, my brain's creating melatonin.
But honestly, man, I should be doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's an excuse, man. I need to get on that shit.
Dude, think about it. Change your shit right now. Change your stars right now, bro. Like, you have all the time in the world. You're young.
What I'm trying to do is, again, just get through school. This is what I'm focused on right now. And
no, you will get through school.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I mean to say. In another year or two, I'll be out, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll focus on the other shit that I need to do. But Dude, I feel stretched so fucking thin right now. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, I have to balance school. I have to balance this. I have to balance that.
Dude, we're in the same boat. We're in the same
Everybody's
boat.
in the same boat. Everybody's fighting this kind of fight.
Well, not everybody's in school. Like, some people just work and go home every day.
Right, but then there are another kind of fights with relationships or fucking with their kids that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's going through this kind of struggle, bro. And that's why it's difficult, man.
Life is a bitch. It's meant to keep us down and sleeping, I guess. It's meant to keep us asleep.
That's why you gotta lift weights.
That shit's supposed to be good for you. Testosterone and heavy weightlifting for men. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be fucking pressing.
You let me know.
We'll get in there, man. Where do you go? Where you
Phoenix.
go? Where's that? Do you see Cody Borgeson up there?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I might go up there. I like the idea. I like free weights. I don't want to have to go to like Planet Fitness where.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. You go with me, you ain't gonna like it, but I'll get it done.
Dude, that was like Arthur, man. He almost made me throw up when I went with him.
Really?
Yeah.
No, man.
Arthur's a beast, dude.
Yeah, but no.
Arthur's a fucking
He's calisthenics, man. He's about the high reps. I'm going with the heavy weight.
He does. Yeah, he does high reps, but that's only for people who want to get like defined.
I agree to disagree on that. I feel like you can get defined without doing the reps. But then again, that's just me.
I feel like
there's so many different.
It's a different muscle tone. It's a different tone. It's proven.
I don't.
You don't what?
I don't believe that. It's the same muscle tone.
No, it's a completely different body type.
Mm-hmm.
If you do high reps, low weight, it's a completely different build than if you do high weight.
You're gonna be a smaller
reps.
guy that's toned.
Yeah.
Bodybuilders are fucking huge and they're toned. If you cut.
Yeah, but you're huge. That's what I'm saying. If you want to get big, if you want to put on mass, if you want to put on muscle mass, you lift heavy weights. If you just want to cut your shit up, you do light weights, high reps.
If you cut shit up and you ain't got no muscle to show,
you're still going to have muscle. It's just going to be the same, or it's going to be denser muscle than I have now. Like if I started doing that, it would change.
Again, fucking
Arthur, it would change the way I look.
Arthur's in good shape, man. He looks good for his age.
Dude.
Yeah. He looks good for his age, bro.
Crazy.
I thought he was like my age. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Yo, really? But that's besides the point. Again, I don't know, man. Lift heavy shit, put it back down, and pick it back up.
Well, the cool thing about lifting heavy weights is it actually increases your testosterone.
Yeah.
For males.
Yeah.
You lift heavy, you get testosterone. That's just the way it fucking is.
Mm-hmm. Your body learns to adapt to the stressors being applied to it. And so if you're progressively getting heavier, your body's going to progressively have to pump out more and more. The only way for you to get stronger as a guy is what? More testosterone. You're going to get bigger and bigger. You're going to get, more tone.
So do women get testosterone?
Yes, they do.
When they lift heavy weights?
We have estrogen in our body. And this is what happens whenever you take steroids and stop. That's why you grow tits.
Because you
what is it? Gynecomastia, whatever the fuck.
What is that? You just stop, your
testosterone levels come up here,
yeah.
okay? Because of the testosterone supplements that you were taking, okay? Now, whenever you stop, your body seems to want to equalize that out. So what happens is it converts some of the testosterone for more estrogen. You grow tits.
Oh, you don't want no titties.
Yes.
If you're a guy, you don't want no titties.
This is why I wonder
taking steroids.
What the fuck's gonna happen? To some of these people that take hormone replacement. Whenever you're an older guy or whatever the shit, and you need hormone supplements like testosterone, you have naturally low levels of testosterone or whatever. What happens when you stop taking that shit? You're gonna become very
womanly.
Yes. And the opposite if they're the other way around. Women have testosterone, they just don't have a lot of it.
Some women are just manly to begin with. Like some women just
they probably have higher testosterone. Especially
little beebs
with higher sex drives and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But estrogen doesn't produce that?
No.
So very womanly women
are high in testosterone, yeah. Estrogen, yes.
But some of them are still really freaky and they want to do it all the time. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's true. I don't think that's necessarily true.
I'm telling you.
I know testosterone increases sex drive, but I don't think it's the only thing that does.
Oh no. Not the only thing, no, but yeah.
There's got to be estrogen's got to do it in some form.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think so.
I think in men it probably has the opposite effect. In men it's
it makes you bitchy. It makes you
it decreases your sex drive for sure. Like low testosterone, low T. It makes you not want to do it very much.
It sounds bad, dude, when you say like low T.
Low T, and that's something you joke about. Man, low T. You got no energy. Testosterone boosts energy levels.
In men and women.
And
In women especially, it helps burning fat. If you're fat and you have a lot of fucking fat around your stomach, that's high estrogen.
Yeah. And it's also tit fat too, huh?
Yes. If you were a guy, for example, and you were really, really high in testosterone, your fat's going to be more evenly dispersed. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to gain mass. You're not going to gain, like, belly fat. You know what I'm saying?
But what if you have, like, a toned chest and, like, a fat stomach,
Gut.
or a
That's
toned stomach
usually-
and fat tits?
That's usually steroid use.
Shit, that's how I am, dude. Like, I got hard pecs, but, like, dude, I got a belly. I got, like, a beer belly.
And usually what happens is that you
I don't
had
even
high
drink-
testosterone at one point in your life, and now the estrogen's kind of catching up.
Yeah, so I need to get my ass
You got to
in the
get your
gym.
testosterone up and bring the estrogen down.
What time do you normally go?
Dude, right after work.
Really?
Yeah.
3
Mondays
o'clock?
and Tuesdays, I know I go to class like pretty early, and so literally I'll get off of work, and by 3:30 I'm trying to hit the gym. I'm trying to get the fuck out by 4:30.
How long do you spend?
An hour. No more than an hour.
What all do you do?
Everything.
Like, do you have different days for different body group, like muscle groups?
I do upper and lower. I don't do, for example, like arms one day, chest the other, fucking, I do upper and body and lower.
Do you do core exercises?
No. You do not
What?
do core. You do not need core exercises. If you're
Dude,
using
that's like the most important.
if you're using free weights, in order for you to stabilize that shit, you're going to use your core. Guaranteed.
A stabilizer muscle still in your shoulders and arms, though. You need
Listen.
like core, fucking core.
No, you do not.
Dude, core is like the most important fucking group.
You're right. You're 100%
and like
right.
posture and
Trust me, dude.
Hold
Whenever
your
you're trying
spine
to lift, let's say 275 fucking pounds on your back, your core is going to be engaged. I guarantee it.
so you'll get abs from bench pressing.
You will get abs from bench pressing and fucking lifting with your legs, yes. You do not need to worry about your abs in order to get abs. Yes, that's exactly what I am telling you.
Oh man, I just think that
I know.
especially for endurance, like it's very important to have a strong core.
No.
And that's something I'm gonna do at least. I'm
Okay.
gonna do like planks and fucking holding weights like this, doing some crazy shit, sit ups, fucking leg lifts, all that shit, sprints. Apparently, you're not supposed to jog. Jogging's bad for like.
Cardio for anything a time higher than 20 minutes is bad for you. Yes.
So you need to like do like wind sprints over and over again.
HIIT. High intensity interval training. Yes.
That's some crazy shit, son.
That's whenever you run hard as shit, you run less hard to catch your breath, and then you hit it hard again.
Do you have a strict diet?
Not right now, but you should.
Like, what is a good amount of everything to eat? I know you've looked.
You're talking
this
about
shit up.
macros, 40, 40, 20.
Okay, explain that.
40% carbohydrates, 40% fucking protein, 20% fats.
I thought fats were like really fucking good for you. Like you like.
Good fats, not bad fats. Saturated, not good for you.
Yeah.
Monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, yes.
So a lot of the.
Avocados, peanuts, walnuts, pecans, fucking nuts. There's phyto fucking fats, the things that are fucking plants especially are usually good for you.
So
Salmon.
Why don't you eat like healthy?
Fucking convenience. That's what it is.
It's too hard to cook every day. It's too hard to make.
If you're gonna get serious about this shit, you're gonna find out that you're gonna be cooking one long time, one day for like the rest of the week.
So like on a Sunday, you'd have to cook all day and make your meals for like the rest of the week. And
Right.
Every Sunday you do that.
Right, and you freeze them. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Phillips gave me. You know Robert Phillips, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Robert Phillips, he's like the ops leader on second shift.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me he sees like a nutritionist now,
Mhm.
and he gave me like this packet, and it was like what to eat for every day. And apparently he eats 7 meals a day,
Yeah.
and he portions his chicken like
I have a
like-
scale that I do that with.
yeah, grams of like
Protein
a
and
certain
shit.
amount of lean consistency meat, and then like a little bit of fucking beans or whatever the fuck he eats. 7 times a day, he'll wake up and he'll have a certain breakfast, and then he'll eat 7 meals every day. It's like,
Yeah.
when the fuck do you cook all that, man? Like,
Here's
that
the
is
deal, though.
and you gotta have all these containers to put it in. It's just like,
If
man,
you want to
that's a
go
lot of
basic stuff for body nutrition and some shit, if you're like a weightlifter or whatever, a good thing to do is to take your maintenance calories, which is your body weight times 12. Okay, whatever the hell that happens to be, that's usually your maintenance, okay? If you go underneath that, theoretically, depending on how lean you are, you should start to lose weight. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds, okay? Let's just say. And you times that by 12, right? That is what? 2,400? 2,400 calories?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you want to eat at least 2,400 calories. If you drop underneath that, you're going to start losing weight. And if you go above that, you're going to start gaining weight. Well, we don't realize that if you go to Subway and eat one cookie, dude, that's like 300 fucking calories, okay?
And then the drinks are what kill people because they spend all day drinking sodas and...
Which is, again, calories, but the sugar...
And they're empty calories.
Yeah,
so they have
way empty.
No nutritional
But
value.
what I mean to say is one cookie with 300 fucking calories in it, bro, that's like half a bowl of rice and a fucking chicken breast worth of food in a cookie. So, and anyways, 2,400 calories, okay? 40% of them should be carbs, 40% of them should be proteins, 20 of them should be fat, okay? You can do the math on that pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? About half.
Do some foods, like, even if they're lower in calories, do they give you
way better?
Way more energy?
Yes. What I was going to say is nutrient...
Calories are units of energy, right?
Yes. With carbohydrates being 4, proteins being 4, and fucking fats being 9. Fats are extremely calorie rich. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why whenever you eat like French fries or some shit, it's a ridiculous amount of calories, but you don't feel full. You know what I'm saying? And nutrient-dense foods are exactly as they sound. They have a lot of nutrients for very low calories. You could eat like fucking 2 cups of broccoli, bro, a day, and that literally looks like fucking, a bucket worth of food. You know what I'm saying? 2 fucking cups of broccoli is a lot of broccoli if you haven't fucking noticed, but you stay full on it, you know what I'm saying? But it's low calories and you'll lose weight on it, but the nutrients in it is what you want. That's how you feel fuller. You understand what I'm saying? This amount of fucking broccoli gives you like fucking 120 calories, which is way less than anything else you're eating, and you feel full off of it. You're getting nutrients from it. Yes.
That's how you want to live.
Sort of.
So then it gets to the question of like, what is the best? Because they have a lot of packaged foods, frozen broccoli. Is frozen broccoli good for you, or should you buy broccoli stocks? Should you buy like fresh?
Whenever possible, you want to stay to raw food. You want to stay to real food. You want to stay to unprocessed food.
No canned food.
Well, you can, but just realize that it's gonna have preservatives and salts and all that good stuff in it. So it depends on how clean you want to be. But the cleaner that you are, and the more you put into it, the more you're gonna get out.
But canned foods are still okay.
You should try to avoid them, but if you can't, if that's the best, then fuck it. Like mangoes, for example. If mangoes aren't in season and you want, some mango, go get the canned. You know what I'm saying? But that still beats eating fucking cookies and Oreos and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta kind of be a little bit with it.
Yeah, but cookies and Oreos are so fucking good.
But the other thing I was gonna say is your diet and your sleep account for 90% of like your gains, bro. Of your actual
sleep. How does your sleep affect your gains?
Okay, whenever you're fucking lifting, you're actually breaking down muscle. Okay.
When you sleep, you recover muscle.
Yes. So if you're not sleeping right, you ain't gonna be building right.
So how the fuck is it that you can go to the gym for an hour a day and then sleep for 4 hours and be all right?
What do you mean?
Like you just said, you got like 4 hours to sleep a night, right?
Right. I'm not optimal at all. I'm telling you, I'm not optimal at all. I'm fucking up, bro. I'm slacking. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
It's probably also because you were already in shape before you started going to the gym.
I was fat, dude. I was fat. Like I said, I weighed like 210, and now I weigh like 170, bro. Like.
Yeah, I remember when you were a little chubby fucker.
Yeah, I know. I fucking.
But shit, when I left, where we worked together on second. Mm-hmm. When I left second shift, you were in shape. And then after that, you got fat, and yeah. I got fucking fat, dude. Since I started working at Train, bro.
It's the girls, man. It's the girls.
Did they make you happy, fat, and happy?
I guess so. Fucking.
And now that you gotta get in shape and get the next one.
It's not even about her, man. It's all about me. Fuck that.
Yeah, but how is it benefiting you if not for the ladies?
Because whenever I was in high school or some shit, I didn't have a girlfriend, dude, and this is what I did because it's what I wanted to do. Girls fucking like it, okay, cool, that's great. You don't like it, fuck off, not a big deal. But, this is who I want to be. I want to be in shape. For me, not for you. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's got to be a good feeling, dude. Because I just, sometimes I feel like I ain't got no fucking energy. Like, sometimes I just feel like fucked.
And that's a paradox in weightlifting, too. you don't have energy, but you're gonna grow energy if you start using your energy. You understand what I'm saying? It's fucking. It's like a battery. You gotta get completely drained and start recharging yourself to realize how much it is that you're actually.
It's almost like a muscle. Like the more you use,
It's like like your grit, bro. It's like your
gets,
toughness. You know.
That's some crazy shit.
I know.
Dude, I don't use fucking any energy besides at work. And every day when I get home, I just want to sit down for the rest of the day.
Right.
I don't want to do shit.
And that's what you want to avoid, because the second you sit down, it kind of like, hits you, and you're like, fuck this, I'm not doing
you're just
shit.
like, fuck. But
so
dude, you look forward to that feeling all day. Uh-oh. It's still recording.
Well, I don't know, man.
It's still recording.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why that happened. Hopefully that's not in the edit.
Well, we'll see anyways. We stopped it, so you could probably just cut it out, if anything. But
I'll cut it out and put a picture up and explain to people like
that technical
shit.
difficulties.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen again.
Hey, it could be somebody's in a room watching you.
Dude, don't say that shit. Aliens just flew over and like they fuck with all the electronics and shit.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. You think they would fuck with like electromagnetic?
I think they'd fuck with whatever, man.
They can do
To
whatever.
be honest with you.
Do you think they would just come down here and start fucking with people?
I'm pretty sure if they wanted to, they would just like beam us the fuck through the roof, bro. Just fuck with us.
Because nobody on Earth could do shit. They just beam us out and then fly to the moon.
Just what? Like we're doing a cartwheel in the air and shit.
They just fly us to the moon and drop us off, and we'd fucking strangle in zero atmosphere.
Heads pop.
We'd freeze and burn at the same time.
But yeah,
So is this a good point to stop this?
we could.
Is that what you want to do?
We could.
Alright guys. Till next time. Peace out. Pussies.